All right, so hello, everybody. I'd like to welcome you again for another episode. This is our real estate deals. I am Jams, and again, I'll be your host for today. Now, everyone, this program is created mainly to inspire, share, and impact. Inspire aspiring individuals to venture wholesaling, share experiences, and of course, to impart knowledge and power to those young investors who is willing to take the shot in wholesaling. And as for today, we are joined by someone who had his first deal closed amidst being new to real estate. So, everybody, let me welcome Tristan. Hi, Tristan. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing well myself. Thank you for asking. Yeah. So, Tristan, before anything else, can you introduce yourself to us? Can you give us a little background about who you are, where you've come from?
Yeah, definitely. Um, my name's Tristan. I was born here in Colorado, and my whole life I haven't liked working for really anybody, and real estate has been something that's seemed so far away because you need so much money to get into it that I it is almost like I had to push it aside and get real with life. But I think back when my mom sold her first house, she bought it for like I think $100,000 and sold it for like around four. And ever since then, I'm like, this is the business you have to go into. This is how I get to be financially free, and really start something special here for myself, my family, and future generations in my family. So, yeah, that's pretty much me. I I worked in the car industry. I'm finishing up in the car industry right now. I went to college for that, and
Oh,
I'm just really just your average guy. Honestly, I'm not like some high IQ. I didn't get a high SAT score. I'm just your average guy, and yeah, that's just pretty much me. So
or so I'm just quite intrigued. Your mom bought a house worth $100,000, and she flipped it and sold it for 400,000. Is that correct?
no, we
Uh,
no, we didn't flip it. We just lived in it, and it just appreciated in value.
oh,
And
I see.
yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm like, how else can
Really?
you
Oh
make
my
three hundred
God.
thousand dollars like that? So yeah.
Yeah, that's such an eye opener for venturing real estate wholesaling for that matter. Now, you mentioned that you're dealing with car industry today. So and when you had your first deal, is it like are you employed back then when you had that deal, or you're still schooling at that time?
Yeah, so I finished my schooling back in 2021, and since I got my first deal in December, so it's January last month. Yeah, I was working about 60 hours a week, and I was able to find some time to learn wholesaling, and then actually while I was learning, I took lots of action as well, and that's ultimately what came out of it was my first deal that was really well, and it blessed me to move forward. And here in about a 2 weeks time, I'm not working a W-2 job anymore, so I'll be doing this full time. It's awesome.
Oh, so right now currently you're doing wholesaling full time.
Yep, about to be in two
All
weeks.
right,
So
awesome. Yeah, awesome. That's great. Now, let's talk about your first deal. Can you walk us through of how and where did you acquire? How was your relationship with the seller?
yeah, yeah, definitely. So first off, I found my market, which was I found the median home value of the state here in Colorado, and then I started looking in areas where the population was um,
Hot markets?
over. Yeah, all off market. I'm looking for population of above 50,000 and under that median home value. So I chose my market here in Aurora, Colorado, and I was driving around. I did driving.
Mhm.
It's called driving for dollars. You look
Yeah.
for distressed properties, and I found the property I eventually closed the deal on, and I got his information from public record from the property assessor, and then I skip traced him and found his phone number, and he really needed to sell the property. He was running out of money. He couldn't afford living in Colorado anymore. So we connected, and I'll tell you what, I was on the way to that appointment, and I was pretty nervous. I won't lie, but I was going through everything in my head, practice, 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 and as soon as I stepped out of my truck, I flipped the switch, and just my confidence switch, and you would think I'd done it 1,000 times before. So it's all about confidence going in there, and we came up with a price, and that was a good deal. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Seller was a really nice guy. Um, I always try to connect with them as much as I can, and yeah.
All right, you're blessed with that. And how did you find your title company? And
Um,
were they easy to work with? Yeah, I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah, so I just Googled title companies in my area, and I
Uh-huh.
was just calling a bunch of. I dedicated like 3 whole days to doing it. So I called a bunch of them, and I compared the prices. I pretty much asked, uh, "Do you guys work with investors, and are you familiar with assignment of contracts?" And the ones that said yes, I then added them to a list, and I asked for their closing price, and I narrowed it down to someone that I was really comfortable with. That was just nice over the phone, and I closed it with them.
All right, that was awesome. And how long did it take for you to close that deal?
So from start to finish, when I was driving around uh, to the actual closing date was, I think, 31 days. So we got it done in a month.
Oh, awesome. So within that month, you already or also find your cash buyers for that. And when we're talking about cash buyers, can you tell us how what did you do to find out your cash buyer, to look for your cash buyers?
Yeah, definitely. So I when I started wholesaling, I just went on Facebook groups. If you're watching this, go on any local Facebook group you have about home investors, and join all of them. And I would
Mhm.
pretty much search through each one and see who was looking, cash buyers that responded to someone else that left their email. I'd personal message them, and I would just find a bunch, and I would post these ad copies on these groups as well, and those bring in a couple good cash buyers. But I think either way you do it, you do it through Facebook groups. I got a list now through for rent, like
Mhm.
landlords. I call them, they're renting out a property, and I'm like, hey, are you looking to buy more property? Software companies like PropStream or Batch that are really well too. But I think the most important thing to keep in mind when you're looking at cash buyers is just making sure that they're an actual cash buyer.
Yeah,
Everyone
that's
says they're a
true.
cash buyer, but
Yeah.
then they end up talking about hard money lending, and I'm like, that's not cash. So always ask for proof of funds. If they can give you
Mm-hmm.
proof of funds before you even send them the address, then they're really serious.
Mm-hmm.
But like what I did is I got under contract to make sure it was legally binding, and then if they're interested, I'd be like, I need a proof of funds before you can even set foot on this property. So you got to be tight, but you got to be respectful about it as well. So just know that there's a lot of tire kickers out there that are saying they're cash buyers or other wholesalers, and it's a strategy, but it's your responsibility as a wholesaler to narrow it down and find out who's actually willing to buy that property from you. So
Yeah, you're actually doing pretty amazing, knowing that this is your first time doing wholesaling, and you were doing it on your own. You didn't even have a team to back you up at that time. So, um, have you ever had, what do you call this? Have you ever had any guru or a teacher that teaches you how to do this on your own?
yeah, so I won't lie, I started learning about it in September, end of September of 2022. And during that time, I just tried to just learn as much as I could and take action while I was doing it. I think that's the biggest part of this industry as a wholesaler is, you can get paid while you learn. It's all about the action you
Mhm.
take. But I did. There is I went to work one day, and I've heard all sorts of stuff on like TikTok and Instagram and Twitter about like wholesaling, and they all wanted a lot of money for their course. So I came across these guys called Flip with Rick. They're these two
Yeah.
individuals that
Mm-hmm.
they teach everything about. They're starting this whole movement on teaching everything for free, and they
Mm-hmm.
do one-on-one mentoring. It's all free, and it might be hard to believe, but trust me, go to freewholesaling.com if anyone's listening here, and just go through the course. All they want from you is an email, and it's all free. And they have YouTube lives 6 days a week, and that's where I learned everything. And is taking that leap of faith on what I've learned and
True.
applying it to the market, because every market's different, and you got to learn yourself. But there's a general overview of wholesaling that you need to know, and these guys are awesome at it. So if I can recommend that to anyone, I do it with anyone who asks about what I do now, and I'm like, just go learn it yourself at freewholesaling.com or flipwithrick.com, and they're really awesome guys. So that's where I learned.
Yeah, it's really true that when you venture wholesaling, that you need to really learn and you need to really fully comprehend and be knowledgeable about it. And finding the right mentor and finding the right teacher for that is really a big factor in wholesaling or in real estate. So yeah, aside from getting learnings from YouTube, from the free trainings online, did you have you read a book that might help everyone or everybody watching this? um yeah.
Yeah. So before that, I just want to add on the last thing you said. Wholesaling, it's big boy stuff. You are dealing with legally binding contracts, and I do
Hmm.
recommend you know what you're doing. But
True.
it's something where you can take action while you're learning. So don't be afraid to do it. Just go and do it, and you can only go up from there. But in terms of literature, I gotta say, Rich Dad Poor Dad, of course, is a classic that
Yeah.
talks is about business wise, and on more of. I didn't read any wholesaling books, if that's what you're asking. But Rich Dad Poor Dad is one of an amazing book to read if anyone hasn't. And then more of a mentality standpoint, because that's what a lot of wholesaling is too. You're gonna get a lot of
Hmm.
no's, more no's than yeses. But on the mentality standpoint, Grant Cardone's the 10x rule will be really good for how you're going to move forward with setting your goals and how you're going to actually accomplish them, and how to keep your mind set straight on where you're going. So if I could recommend those two books, that's probably what I would do. So
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try to read that one in the future. And by the way, do you have a team in place currently? Are you doing virtual wholesaling already?
so I don't have a team. Do I plan to have a team in the future? Absolutely, because a lot of when you start getting stuff moving, that I've come
Mhm.
to figure out, because I'm there's learning wholesaling, and then there's learning how to run a business, and uh, I'm learning as I go. But I made a commitment to myself where I'm going to get to a certain amount of money that my business will profit. Then I'll start hiring maybe a VA or two. But I
Mhm.
really like what I'm doing, because this is my opinion, of course, but
Mhm.
if you hire someone right off the bat, a big part of wholesaling is acquisitions, and you need to be good with talking, because that's how you're going to be able to get these good deals. And if you hire, a virtual assistant to start cold calling for you or pulling lists for you, you're really not going to learn the whole process of it, and that will bite you in the butt in the future. You don't want to be afraid to talk to people, because that's what this business is. You're going to meet so many people. You're going to talk to so many people. So I like doing it myself just for the learning standpoint of it. But in the future, yes, I do plan on having a team to put forward to just do little tasks, pulling some of these lists, skip tracing, and of course, cold calling. I'm going to have to train them on that. But that's kind of my plan right now, towards the
Mm,
future.
yeah, building your own company.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good plan. Uh, Now, what have you learned so far in real estate, particularly wholesaling, that might help other people starting or someone who's already venturing real estate?
First off, don't give up. Don't ever give up on your dream, um, and take massive amounts of action because that's the only way it's going to happen. Um, I'll tell you right now, if nothing is going to go the way you plan, so just be ready to be on your toes and problem solve at every point that you can. Because with, I mean, just with this, my deal I had alone. For one, I used a contract that was one provided by freewholesaling.com, that the company or the website I told you earlier. Um, but it also had to tweak it a little bit to the Colorado rules, their laws. So I had to amend a contract 3 times in this last deal. One was for some things I left out of the contract. One was for because the seller's name wasn't the same on my contract as it was on the title, and I had to amend to close the or to change the closing date. So just little things like that. It will be scary, but just stick with it. Don't give up. It's not going to ever go your way exactly, but the big part of being a wholesaler is you get paid to proportion of problems you solve. So just be on your toes and just be ready for something like that, and don't give up. Just keep moving forward, and it might seem like a dark hallway, but at the end of it's a insane bright light that will take you somewhere. So I can tell you right now, from that deal, that's the most money I've ever gotten at once. And
Mm-hmm.
it's one, bring me amazing confidence to this industry,
Mm-hmm.
and two, it's helped me and my family, um, just to loosen the grip a little bit, to breathe and not be as tight with with bills and stuff. So I'm really excited for the future of my business and wholesaling. So
Yeah, that's actually true. When you mentioned you should never give up on your dreams, especially in real estate, because there are really a lot of people nowadays um, who wanted to join real estate because they know that it pays well, but in the long run, they tend to give up easily, especially those that haven't acquired deals for months, for years. And it's really taking a toll of their time. So that's why they give up easily. And I have met someone or individuals as well that had closed their deals um, for months, for a year, for 2 years even. And they even didn't give up until they had reached that dream, until they fully, fully embrace that one, and then they fully be knowledgeable about doing it, and then they're fully confident in doing it in their daily lives, so on and so forth,
yeah,
etc. So if
yeah, definitely.
anyone wanted to reach you or wanted to contact you, where can they contact you at or reach you at?
Yeah, so I'll say right now I'm open. I learned in such a way that was so giving that I'm open to helping anyone with this, with the advice. I'm no expert. I haven't put in my
Mm,
10,000 hours. I'm no expert, but I will let you know the knowledge that I have. Um, and I'll help anyone do that. So for one, my work phone number, I can give that out here. Uh, is going to be 303-536-5449. 303-536-5449. If you want to give me a text, that would be the best because I can't always talk on the phone during the day. Also, my email is Rocky Mountain Wholesale 88@gmail.com. It's going to be Rocky Mountain Wholesale 88@gmail.com. And, someone, I also had, like I was telling you earlier, I've been building up quite a good buyers list on top of the marketing I've been doing out to sellers. So if anyone needs help with, you know, dispositions of a deal, I'm more than happy to give a hand where I can and maybe give you some advice on why it isn't sold yet. But yeah, anyone reach out to me, just send me a text or email, just name and the subject you want to talk about. So
hmm Okay. And anyways, thank you so much, Tristan, and everyone. To those who want to reach out to Tristan, I will post the link on to his bio. Will be posted below in the description. And again, Tristan, you've been very helpful. We appreciate your time, and you really are a true embodiment of a wholesale astronaut, as what my mentor has says. Also, someone wholesale astronaut. Those are someone who does not only aim for the stars, but they are the ones who would land on the moon. And we wish you all
Thank
good
you.
luck in your future endeavors. Again, everyone, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell that below. Thank you again. This is Gems, and I'm telling you to have a real day. Bye bye.